can never do it like I. When you see man pull up and slide, man stepped in a room with legends, Rio and Ste, you know it's a vibe. Check the podcast, what you wanna know? Don't ask me, go and ask Joe. If you're talking Premier League, he's on the front line and I gotta go. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. Vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know this.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Vibe with Five. You got here myself, Joel Bayer, Stephen Howson, England fan, and of course, Rio Ferdinand. England beat Wales 3-0. They're through to the last 16s. Marcus Rashford is back. The boys from Manchester did it for England. Rio, me and Steve, we went live yesterday. We already spoke, so we want to get your take on the game. What did you see? What did you like?
Well, before the game in the studio, I asked for an England team that comes out with the profile of players we've got, to be mobile, we're quick, to be aggressive on the front foot, attack this Wales team, don't let them get into a rhythm. And they've done all that. And they didn't play glamorous, exciting football in the first half, but they controlled it. They controlled the game, limited Wales to a powder puff shot over the bar in the first half, but never looked like they were ever going to be a threat. And in second half, they came out and just absolutely blew Wales away with two goals in 2 minutes. And the Rashford goal, especially, was it the Foden goal, typified what I'd love to see consistently from an England team, where they go on the high press from the goalkeeper. Rashford then intercepts the ball, it falls to Harry Kane, and then bang, the next pass is in the back of the net. And because we've got the players to do that, we've got quick, aggressive players that can do it, and they do it for their clubs. And the most pleasing thing for me yesterday, I have to say, was the manager made the 2 changes in the forward positions. He obviously made 2 elsewhere in the team, but the 2 at the front end of the pitch for me just showed the depth that we've got. And that would be, if I was on opposing teams in this tournament, I would be sitting there going, "Ooh,
scary times, scary hours."
Because Saka, before the tournament started, was going, he can't be left out. Now, you're sitting there thinking, if he does get left out, you miss something with him, but you still sit there and go, yeah, but Foden scored last game. Yeah. Rashford scored too. Yeah. So, and seeing Marcus doing what he's doing in the game, even in the cameos he's had, he looks like he's happy again. He looks like his mind's right. He looks like his body's right. And when he's in that vein of form, he's almost unplayable. And he's so direct. Every time he gets the ball, he looks like he wants to go at the defender and commit the defender and hurt the defender. And where that comes from, and we spoke about this on various shows on Vibe with Five, it comes from going back to the basics and working hard, getting your head down and grafting in this team brings you a bit of luck. There's no 2 ways about it. That brings you a little bit of luck. And then all of a sudden you build some confidence through that because you're getting people behind you going, well done, keep pressing, well done. And then you get a bit of confidence back and then you get a chance at goal. Then you get a goal and then all of a sudden life is looking very much different to what it did coming into this tournament.
In summary, scary hours. You got here, Phil Foden, he wins a free kick.
But, sorry Joel.
Go on.
Can't get too carried away, guys.
Why?
Because this is what we do, this is what I do. I get carried away, I'm emotional, I'm a fan who goes crazy, but I'm trying to keep the temperature down. And you have to understand, we've done this against Iran and we've done this against Wales, and we're going to come up against much tougher opposition, and that's where we're going to be judged.
Joe, the frustration here, though, is we've just seen what Marcus has done. I thought Foden was all right. I didn't think it was spectacular performance, but it was decent. But the reason for these players not playing was because people that were ahead of them in Gareth Southgate's pecking order had always done it for England. But them boys hadn't had the chance to do it for England.
That's not
it's
true.
The same with
Saka. Can't say that about Saka.
No, not
Minus
Saka. I'm more on about that was who was in front of these 2 boys. But the likes of Sterling, his club form wasn't giving him the right to have that shirt.
Why?
But they was but he's always done it for England. But how do we know someone else wouldn't have done these performances?
Well, it's hard to say because with Maguire, he's not putting a foot wrong at the current moment. So we'll have to.
I still think
there's
levels in the performance. I'm still seeing mistakes in his performance.
Of course. Well, you're talking about the shot cross.
No, not that. I don't care what. Listen, I don't judge my centre halves what they do in the opposition box. That's not what they're
Yes,
there
you
for.
do.
No, don't.
You judge him.
Well, that was stupid, but it's not. It's not going to affect what goes on here.
Okay.
I judge him on what he's doing, and honestly, his awareness just makes me want to shout at stuff.
So you think he's not playing well?
I think his performances are overcooked. I thought against USA it suited him. We got pegged back, and he's very dominant in the air. He wins things in both boxes. Yeah.
7 corners. He won 5 of the 7 corners.
And he should be scoring, or at least doing a bit more with it then, because he wins every single one. So there's got to be more production on the end of that. But like I said, don't really judge him in the opposition box. It's a good defensive asset. And when we was defending against USA, he looks great because that's the sort of defending that he's used to. But you push him a little bit higher up the pitch, please just watch him. Please just fixate on him and just watch how he, not once just does that. Not once.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, but I just feel that in an England shirt and the way England play, it really suits his profile of player. So, like you say, you watch Man United more than any other team, and the way Ten Hag wants to play is the 2 centre-backs when we've got the ball are in the opposition half, which then creates a big space between the centre-halves and the goalkeeper. And that space is then they're going to highlight the weakness of Maguire, which is pace.
And it might be okay for England because we've seen a very attacking England in a couple of games this year, this tournament. And actually, I thought we was quite aggressive against America, just wasn't quite hitting the right sort of notes with it. We're not going to play that way if we meet France, are we? We are going to sit in our box, and maybe it suits Maguire.
That's the point I was coming to. We're not going to be seeing Maguire standing on the halfway line or 10 yards in the opposition half in an England shirt and dominating the game against a Brazil, a France,
would you
etc.
want us to?
I would love us to. I'd love us to be. Well, you look at the way Brazil are playing. Listen, if Brazil win it, their style of football, you can see it and go, I can see why. Because they're aggressive, they're on the front foot. They suffocate teams, don't let teams out. When the ball comes out, the two centre halves are tight on people over the halfway line. England don't play like that. England sit sometimes, a few times yesterday, they sit in a low block, condense the space from centre forward to the deepest line centre back. And so there's more bodies around him and there's less space to be exploited around him. So he looks so much better, but he suits him. But that's no fault of his. That they're playing a system that suits him and gets the best out of him. That's what you got to do.
So,
yeah, I don't know if I'm projecting how I would want to see them play maybe more.
Yeah,
maybe
I think so.
Going back to Marcus Rashford really quickly because
Dr. Marcus Rashford,
NBA. 3 goals in the World Cup so far. Oof. You know, joint top goal scorer with Valencia from Ecuador, Mbappe, France, and Gakpo, the Netherlands. Before the start of this tournament, if I had told you that he finishes with 3 World Cup goals, you would have said that's good, isn't it?
I would have been. He would have been absolutely jumping over the moon because I don't think he even thought he'd have been on the pitch long enough to get 3 goals. I think if you look at the last tournament and then this tournament coming into it, he wasn't even in squads prior to this. So it shows you what good training sessions, but also I think a focus from Marcus. I think he has to take a lot of credit that he's really knuckled down and become really focused and gone back to what he was doing when he first got in the team. When he first got in the team, there was no one around, whether you're a Man United fan or any other club, you'd be going, what a breath of fresh air Marcus Rashford is. And why? Because he was hunting people down, he was aggressive, he was defending when the other team had the ball, and then when we got it, he was doing the same things but with the ball, aggressive, dynamic, running at people immediately, committing people and getting goals and assists. And in full flight, Marcus Rashford is up there as one of the most exciting players to watch. Yesterday, you're on the edge of your seat.
Oh, yeah. A couple of years ago, there was comparisons and question marks about who was better, him or Mbappe. Now, that would be a ludicrous thing to have that debate now.
Back in the day.
But that happened. Let's not pretend it didn't happen because it happened.
4 years ago, though.
It wasn't 4 years ago.
It was more than that.
But when a player has a broken back and plays through it, for me, that guy always gets a second chance because you know he's going to put himself on the line. And that's what he's done. And all that's happened this season, he's had a pre-season. He's got his body right. And with that has come the confidence that he can trust himself again.
Before we move on, I just want to say he's got how long left on his contract, Steve?
Don't worry about that.
That's the first thing I asked yesterday. I was in the studio and I was on the United group actually with the boys. And I texted the group and said, what's the contract situation going on with Marcus? Because, boy, numbers are going up by the minute.
Exactly.
Every goal is just adding noughts onto his demands.
It's true.
So Man United could be getting pushed into a corner, man. I don't know.
It expires, current deal expires in June 2023. Man United have an option to extend until June 2024.
18 months, this is the time.
Like, you don't want to let
Someone's
it run
getting a knock on the door.
He's going to go, am I really valued here? How are you letting it run? Even though there's an option, you don't want to wait till the end to exercise that option. How would you feel?
I've got to be honest, I don't know how United have let it get to this point. The only thing I would say in defence of Man United, he was out of form massively. So they was thinking, is he going to get that form back? But if you gamble that and then this happens, he has you in a vice-like grip saying, listen, show me the money.
Yeah, it's true.
Put that clip up.
There's
show
some
me the
players
money.
on some big wages at United, and I think he's just going to go in and ask for
course.
parity.
I don't think it's even, from his point, if I'm him, I don't even negotiate. I say to my agent, you ain't going in there, right? I know my value. I'm walking in there and I'm sitting down and I'm saying, who's the highest paid player at the club right now?
Is it
In
De
the
Gea?
form. And you just say, listen,
I think it might be De Gea or it could be Sancho.
put me $1 million a year above him.
I mean, come on, Rooney, man.
What?
$1 million above. Well, I know when you cut it down, yeah, it makes sense.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Pay me not what I'm worth.
I mean, especially with the form Sancho's in. If it's Sancho, if he goes
That's
and
what
tries
I'm
and
saying.
puts him up against Sancho,
So and nowadays a lot of data's involved in this. I'll be going in with my iPad presentation. Listen, look at the details, look at the assists, look at
And let's
the
talk
entries
about
into
that
the
off-air.
opposition.
Okay, cool.
let's
Yeah,
talk about
all
off-air.
right, cool. No.
it's got to be an off-air conversation.
Convo. Yeah. But just to put it out there, Gareth Southgate is the first manager in England's history to win 10 games.
Respect to
at a
Mr. Gareth
major
Southgate.
tournament.
Respect him, please.
Southgate in.
Well, when you wanted him out before?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Play the clip.
That's not true.
Play the clip.
That's not true. Southgate in. If anyone's earned the right,
I'd have sacked him off America.
and everyone got angry with me in the comments saying, you can't say that. But if anyone's earned the right to be wishy-washy, switch their mind on who's starting, who they're taking, if anyone's had the right to lie to the nation, it is Gareth Southgate.
To lie?
Yes.
You know what? I think the thing with Gareth, why he's got grace, is because he's done virtually what no manager other than Sir Alf Ramsey's done for England in getting us to a semi and then a final of tournaments. People argue that as soon as we played against teams that were half decent, we got beat, we went out. Except all you got to do is beat what's in front of you. He's not picking the fixtures.
Finals.
You know what I mean? He's beating what was in front of him. Fell over against Croatia, and the other team was Italy in the final. But we're asking for absolute perfection. Listen, 10, 15 years ago, if you said you're going to, after your second game, you're going to have 4 points, yeah, and you've got Wales to get a draw against to qualify for the knockout stages, you'd have bit their arm off.
Yeah, was it a few years ago? One of the executives at the FA literally put the thingy of like hit the semis of the Euros, hit the final at the World Cup, and then win it the year after.
Yeah, I think so. But we went out to Iceland not long ago, mate. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget we went home because Iceland beat us.
That's just an underachievement in it. In every
Yeah,
sense
and
of
so like the strides that we've made since then have to be recognised and have to be respected and appreciated. So if we underperform in a performance sense in a group stage game, but we're still top of that table, please don't sit here and tell me that it's okay to hammer him and say he should be sacked. He's not good enough. He's this and that. Let him navigate us to the next stage, and then we're going to judge him. Go on, then.
I don't think he's going to get dropped. I don't think he could get dropped. And I don't think his backup is even close to being replacing him.
Who are we talking about here?
But England have scored 9 goals.
Kane, you want Kane dropped? You want Kane dropped? Oh
Did
my
I
God.
3 seconds ago say I don't want him dropped? He's not going to get dropped.
Go on, then.
And Callum Wilson couldn't replace him
Go on,
because he
then.
can't lace his boots.
Yeah.
But is it a concern? I would say England have scored 9 goals. Harry Kane ain't scored 1 of them.
No, it's the best case scenario. Other than him scoring 4 or 5. Let me just clear up my point.
Go on,
right?
please.
Harry Kane, right? If you've got someone like a Rashford, a Saka, a Foden, a Sterling running through.
I know I said this and everyone was like, no.
If you've got someone like running through and he drops deep, because Alan Shearer was in the studio yesterday like moaning about him dropping too deep. But he's doing that and creating spaces, like the first chance yesterday we saw with Rashford. That's all because Harry Kane's dropped out. And the centre halves are looking at Harry, and the space then becomes there. Yeah. Rashford identifies that, gets in, gets a 1v1. But
his playmaking's
you have to
very
remember
good.
the other opposite side of the game for Harry Kane. He's got the most assists in the tournament.
No way.
Yeah, he's got 3 assists in the tournament. So he's not scoring, but he brings more. So for instance, if Alan Shearer, greatest goal scorer the Premier League's ever seen. Yeah. But he couldn't do what Harry does on the other side of the game in terms of creativity. So if Alan Shearer's not playing well, not scoring, you can look at it and go, well, there must be an alternative because if he doesn't score, there ain't as much else that he brings to the table. Well, Harry Kane will create
He
stuff.
switches it to a 10.
Yeah.
Just like that.
The 2 goals were identical that he created the other day. He created one in this game and the game against Iran where he got the ball, took a touch, didn't even look, he just knows the area to put it in, bang, 2 goals.
And he was there, pressing from Rashford. The ball's loose. Beautiful ball into the danger area.
I think if you go with a back 3, which I expect him to do, if and when we draw France, etc., I think he's got to play Kane and Rashford. It's got to be those two.
I think he will, but I don't think he's going to go to if he goes to a free, he's going against what's got us to this point now.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He will,
because he hasn't tried it yet.
I think he'll play Kyle Walker on the right and say, you go. And Kyle Walker, for me, is the only defender on the planet right now that will stand there and go to Kylian Mbappe, right, 1v1, let's have a race, and back himself. That's the difference. In the Euros, I saw him against any player. He was saying, try and kick and run past me, and I'll match you. And I think he's got the confidence to do that, and the only one capable of doing that against.
We saw Tuanzebe do it to him. When you've got wheels like that, you can do it.
Listen, we're going to clip that bit up. If we play against France during the tournament and it happens, Rio said it first. Before we move on, looking at other players really quickly, I want to say you've been having a good time during this tournament, innit? Like I've seen you like
we've been working hard, bro.
Dancing with the ghetto kids,
have we addressed the drip yet?
All types of drip. This is your real England top, isn't it?
Yeah, this is from 98, I think it was. 98.
Yeah, it came
I was just cleaning out the closet, and this just fell out and just said, you got to take me to the World Cup. And I thought, yeah. And he looks sick. Look at it. Come on, man.
And you gave us loads to do giveaways with as well, innit? So that's coming soon as well.
Yeah, one's going to get given away right on my office wall.
But yeah, you and Ashley Williams and Micah and Gary V. Let's put in the little clip here so you guys can see what we've been up to on 5.
Here we go. I don't know what's happened here. The BBC are working people to a... I don't know what. I don't know what's happened. Michael, what's happened here? What's happened to this?
It's a long hours.
It's his first day off, and look at him. It's his first day off. Man got a day off here, went sleeping. Man got a day off and said, nah, this is me. I'm out.
I'm working overtime.
I'm out.
He's thinking about it.
Man said, I'm having a day off. I'm having a week off now. Oi. Ashley Williams was asleep, man. Don't know what happened to Ashley Williams. Just how he's getting worked too hard out here.
You got to bring him on.
Yeah, he'll bring him on, man. We should have brought him on today, but he was a bit tired.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he was sleeping again.
Goodness gracious. Listen, we've got to talk about it, man. Standout star so far for the Netherlands. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Man United's next signing, who we probably could have had for 25, 30 million before the tournament, who's now just doubled probably to 60. We've had on maybe 70 or 80.
80. He's gone.
They're looking at it and going, how much did Anthony go for?
Yeah.
Mate.
Yeah.
Mate.
Cody Gakpo. Excellent. So far, stats for the World Cup. 3 games, 3 goals, 2 wins, 1 draw.
Can I drill it in deeper than that?
Go on.
Cody's actually scored 3 goals from 0.26 XG.
Wow.
Talk to us.
See? But again,
Outrageous.
this is, I don't know, man.
Almost unsustainably outrageous.
Man United are just going to get bent over again. Like, to put it bluntly, it's just going to be a mad, it's not even, the numbers that are going to be spoken about after this tournament are going to, if he does nothing from this point on, he's doubled minimum in value in wages and in the transfer fee.
He's only got 12 caps, by the way, for the Netherlands.
But he's got 3 goals in the World Cup.
Yeah, and 6 goals in general. That's 1 and 2, 2 assists. The guy's not playing games.
Yeah.
Contract expiry 2026. So
especially with Cristiano Ronaldo leaving. With Ronaldo,
everyone knows they're desperate. You start shopping when you're desperate. Wow. The price just goes up.
Wow.
Boy, what do we do? You've got to get
Man United need new owners now.
Yeah.
Gakpo's an interesting one because he's a winger that's not played a lot down the centre. And everyone's looking at him going, it's in size of him. He can play down the middle of him. And I think he can play down the middle.
He's got the size, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's concerns because he's not proven it just yet. He's coming in off the left a lot. And how many players have we got that already do that?
Yeah, whatever happens, you lot ain't getting him. Mbappe, early legacy tournament. What are you saying about Kylian?
Do you know what? I said it, I think, on the show here, that what do I want from a World Cup? I want the young generation to have an experience that I had in 1986. I watched the World Cup and saw Diego Maradona come out to the world. People who love football, knew Maradona, but to everybody else, he took over the world in a time without social media. So imagine that. And left people like myself saying, I saw greatness. Wow. And 30 years later, or whatever it is, 20 years, 10, 15, whatever it is, I remember 1986 because of Diego Maradona and what he'd done. I wanted that coming into this tournament. You want a Neymar, an Mbappe, a Ronaldo, a Messi, whoever them superstars are coming in, you want them leaving amplified as the best and going, that is the best now. And Mbappe, at the moment, is the guy on best course to do that.
That for me is my '98 tournament with R9.
Oh.
We knew what time it was. Oh. Taking away the final, a problem against Chile, a problem against the Netherlands, a problem throughout. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So for us, I'm really happy with Mbappe's performances. You reckon Griezmann's been better than him?
Yeah, I think
Griezmann's been sick.
He's been good.
I think he's been the sort of rock that France are built on. He's doing everything. I mean, Patrice talked about it from a defensive point of view, but I think positionally, work rate, just. I think he's creating, he's stopping stuff. It's a way more all-round performance than I thought Griezmann had in him.
His role in a team could be as important as Mbappe's for different reasons.
Mbappe's going to get all applaudits, but I bet everyone in the dressing room's going in and he gets the first pat on the back. Yeah. Well done, lad.
He's not getting the first one, not above Mbappe. I don't care what no one says.
England could get France in the quarters.
Yeah. And that's all she wrote.
Do you think that'll be murder?
Yeah. There's no way England are getting past that France team. Unless they get a lot of
Are you putting your house on that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's not.
No hesitation.
I'll come and take your keys now.
Let's not.
But I want to go back on the 86 thing.
Go on.
After Maradona did what he did, what was everyone doing in the playground more? The handball or the dribble?
You know what? It's mad because as a kid, the handball didn't even resonate with me.
Really?
It was how mesmerised I was with the individual goal that he scored. And I memorised the commentary. First Fennec, Lee's in for dead. Pass Butcher, Lee's in for dead. Like it's unbelievable.
How many times did you do that in the playground?
Oh mate, I was leaving people for dead. Like, it was unbelievable.
All right. I want to talk about a big game that's been going on, especially in my group chats. I got a lot of Ghanaian friends. They're playing Uruguay on Friday. Big game, obviously. Suarez revenge. Have you heard anything about
any Ghanaians that I've seen out here, all you hear about is revenge. Revenge. So I'd love to be like in Accra watching this game. Could you imagine the vibes? Oh mate, but if Ghana win, that is. But it is amazing to see like the African nations are doing well, man.
Yeah.
I mean Senegal as well. But it's
and Ghana themselves have shocked a few, including me. I thought they were going to be a poor team in this.
Nah, man, you saw them in the last
They're going to
game.
smack Uruguay up because Uruguay have stunk the place out.
They've been disappointed in Uruguay. But you know these big moments, man, and the emotions that South Americans play with. I'll be worried for Ghana in that sense. Forget how the form. I think it goes out the window in games like this, and players like Cavani, players like Suarez use these feelings and emotions around a big game.
Suarez is
I don't
like
think that
Bale,
happens
though.
this game. I think there's so much hurt from what happened to them.
I hope so.
That I think don't matter who you are.
Suarez and Bale have both played the same tournament.
It's not been great, man. It's not been great. But before we wrap it up, I want to ask you, Cristiano Ronaldo scoring against Uruguay, was it his goal, yes or no?
Well, I don't think it's a question, is it anymore? Because the data in football.
I've seen Adidas have put it out there. They've got a sensor in the ball. Who knew they had a sensor in the ball, by the way?
Did you not see? I had a picture. I should have posted it. But there's a sensor in the ball. The balls get charged up before the game.
Wow.
Like they got the USB, put it in, bang, charged up so they can take the data. So if that's the case, that they can tell you from a technology point of view, then it's a given. Just a quick one. We had this debate in the hotel the other day with a couple of the guys. Is Gareth Bale the greatest British player of all time?
I saw your video, and I've had a lot of messages saying, "Can I have a word with you?"
Go on, talk to me. What did I say then? And what's the talk?
What you said is I think people might have misconstrued it a bit, and I hope that's what's happened. Otherwise, we need to have a real word. But you said he's the one that's gone away and done the most outside of the UK.
That's not the question.
Yeah, I think that's bang on. However, him being the greatest British player of all time, no.
Who do you think then?
Bobby Charlton's number one.
Bobby Charlton is like that's not the generation we're talking about.
Okay.
So put people like him, George Best and them guys to one side.
I think it's
they done their
Rooney.
thing and they were great.
It's Bale or Rooney.
The last 20 years or so.
It's Bale or Rooney.
Beckham, Bale, Rooney.
Beckham,
Bale, Rooney.
What about Giggs?
I don't think Giggs for me his playing ability really peaked as a winger. He was a great player as a central midfielder, like that cultured sort of central midfielder, but the level of quality that he got to, I don't think Ryan Giggs is ever the greatest.
I've got to go. I've got to go. Can you unplug me someone? Get me out of here now.
Hang on. I don't think he ever got to the same height.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
We're talking about the greatest ever.
I think Steve's...
I don't think he ever got to the same level that Bale got as a pure individual. I don't think he ever got to the same level.
That's an argument, yeah.
Over a career, don't talk to anyone.
Yeah. Giggs is...
But when we're talking about the very peak of what he got to, I think Rooney's peak, he just unlucky that he played with Ronaldo and was in the era of Messi.
When Giggs come into the team, them first few years, Giggs on the estates was causing a ruckus.
Yeah, but those other players were worldwide. You're talking, at the time, Giggsy, 16, 17.
But it's a different generation. You got social media and stuff now to amplify what people are doing.
Because who was the top players during that time when Giggs was Giggs? I'm talking 94, 95.
It was the Roberto Baggio's and stuff like that. I don't think he could.
But when Bale was at his peak and Rooney, they were the guys. Besides Messi and whatever, they're the guys. 2004, Rooney, you're looking at him thinking...
It's the same thing,
Euros,
though. It's the same thing. What you just said to me...
In 2004 in the Euros, you're looking at Rooney...
What you just explained to me is exactly what has happened with Giggs and Bale. It's the same thing. You said there was a couple of players above them. There was the same thing with Giggs then. It's fine.
What do you mean? Worldwide?
Yeah.
No.
What?
I don't think... I think
Giggs is on the next level down.
Yeah,
Giggs' peak time was a madness.
We're not talking the chasm.
Romarios and flipping Babettos and all these guys.
But when Giggs come in and was devastating the Premier League and people were going, oh my God, what is this? Who is this Martian come out of nowhere? Had his own videotapes. Not many players at them times had their own videotapes.
But that's like, and I'm going to use this wisely actually, I'm not going to say Michael Owen, but if you look at Giggs, right, at that time there were players there was at least 10 players that you can name that were better. Your Di Baggios, all those guys.
Di Baggio? Yeah. Who's that?
Roberto Di Baggio.
It's not Roberto Baggio, bro.
There's no D in his middle name now. Look at Rio. Anyway, those players all better than him during that time. But when it comes to Bale and Rooney's peak, in Euro 2004, you can easily say Rooney was probably the best player in the world. Probably. Might have been. So I think that's the difference when you're looking at it.
But Giggs, his team didn't even get to a tournament to be judged at that level. Sorry. But Giggs didn't even get to a tournament.
Guess we'll never know, don't we?
Yeah, but I think that's just an accident of birth. But I don't think... I think Rooney and Bale and Beckham all at one point have had an argument that they were the best player in the world. And I agree that Giggs came out of the gate and absolutely destroyed the Premier League. But was anyone making the case he was the best player in the world?
No, Giggs was unplayable.
And he was
every
just
team in the world at that point take Giggs. Every nation, every football team in the world go, Giggs is one of my first picks.
I'll add one thing though to counter my argument.
This is a smidge under them three, not like the difference between Gerrard and Scholes. You know what I mean?
Listen. I'll counter my argument a little bit. I read within a Sir Alex book that you guys wanted to sign Zidane, right? But you didn't because you had Giggs.
Who said that?
I saw that in an Alex Ferguson book.
I'm not sure he said that.
No, he must have been.
Check
He must have been on the whiskey.
We'll put it out.
Day.
I think Fergie's...
No, but
Fergie was on the whiskey.
You got to remember the times. You've got a Giggsy coming through, and you've got a Zidane at, where was it? Was he Bordeaux or one of those?
There's so many people that have nearly
I'm going
signed
YouTube,
Zidane.
right, to watch Giggsy's clips in them times, bruv, because I swear down, you're off your feet.
All right, cool. Well, you guys let us know in the comments what you think, because I'm siding with Steve on this one.
Disrespecting Giggs like that. Anyway,
Rio, you can stand on your own over
12
here.
Premier Leagues, you know. 12
Yeah,
Premier
we're not
Leagues.
saying he's not decorated. That's a different conversation.
12 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues.
Rio, it's 13 Premier League.
Yeah.
13. Oh, sorry.
Let us know what you think. We will be back with sick content. We've even got a special with Pochettino coming out later on today, so please make sure you stay tuned.
Maurizio!
Man, top manager. Joel Bayer, Stephen Alson, Rio Ferdinand, Vibe with 5, signing out.
England! Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Right, guys, we're on the flight. We are on our way to Qatar. Here are the guys.
All these things that make me lose my focus.
They're called the Ghetto Kids from Uganda. Unbelievable dancers, seriously crazy. Owen, when you come on here, we'll talk about how good Bastion was, okay? Good to speak to you, man.
You're right. Thank you, Rio.
Good luck. Take care, man. Enjoy the World Cup.
All the best.
Go on somebody. I used to be in the game. Oh my god. Laughing at people.
I swear it's not lying. Every time Rio was bad. Training or game. Rio. Oh my god, that's every time.
We're here on the rooftop on a football pitch, soccer pitch, with Mr. Gary V.
We call it football too. Us Americans have learned.
Neymar!